What's up, gang? It's Willie Rebuild back with another one, baby. We back on a 73. Y'all was right. I asked the customer. It is a 73 Impala. But we back on it. I'm about to bring y'all up to speed on what's going on. Uh, got a few parts in, then installed a few parts. So, as y'all know, this is a 2019 62 LT1. I did a DOD delete and a cam swap on it. I think the engine had 30-something thousand miles on it, but we done went ahead, excuse me, gang, and sit it in. I done cleaned it up pretty good. This condenser here, I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna run a box Chevy condenser in it. Cleaned up over here by the battery tray, and I done started setting up my wiring for my fans, my relays. I kind of don't like when the wire harness kit be having them separate relays. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide the relays behind the battery tray. I'm gonna move these two over because they kind of close to the battery tray. As you can see, don't want the wire to get nicked on the battery tray, but the tray just sitting in there right now. I went ahead and cleaned the tray up with a little rust mart and put some PO 15 on it. But I'm gonna loom all this up and get it nice and pretty, and I'm gonna hide that behind the battery. And then he got his wires right here for his little audio system. He had like 3-4 wires coming to the battery. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a block somewhere right here and run those wires to the block and then one wire to the battery. Try to clean it up a little bit. Bring y'all first before I bring y'all in the car. As y'all can see, a few people was asking me and wondering how I had the engine bay cleaned up. I ran the wires through the back of the firewall, and you can see that more clear without the intake on. Excuse me, gang, boy, I was drinking that coffee. It went down the wrong way. But I'm gonna bring y'all in the car and show y'all how I got it set up. And then I'll bring y'all back outside the car and show y'all, tell y'all why I got the intake off. But as you can see, I got everything set up under the dash. Computer mounted up there, as y'all can see. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the computer right there. I got it mounted under the dash. And as you can see, all that stuff tucking nice and pretty. I haven't tucked my wiring up because I need to wire it up under the dash. Wire up what I need to wire up. Also, I made a bracket right there for my gas pedal. Just gotta drill my holes and bolt my gas pedal in there, and it's nice pretty fit. What else I got? That's about it inside the car. But what I'm getting ready to do now is, this is my transmission harness. I need to drill another hole in the firewall for the transmission harness, and that's part of the reason why I pulled the intake off, because cut my flashlight off. That's part of the reason why I drilled the hole in that's part of the reason why I pulled the intake off, because I need to drill another hole right up under where I got the engine harness coming out and pop another hole for the transmission. And also, I pulled that intake off for clearance to do that. But also, on these LT engines, this line right here, this high pressure line, that's a one-time use line, and you want to replace that every time you take it off. So I'm gonna run the Summit, get another high pressure line, lock all that down for the last time, and then I'll put the intake on for good. And another thing, I need to pull my water pump back off so I can swap my spaces around so I can get a steam port line in so I can hook to my radiator. Got my radiator right here. It's a 3-row radiator. 3-row radiator right here. Not gonna tell y'all what it come out of, cause they like to steal my tricks and don't want to give old Willie Rebuild a shout out. So if you can look at it and figure out what it come out of, that's fine. But if you can't, I ain't ready to tell you what I'm using right now. And I'm gonna run the same radiator in the box Chevy, cause it's gonna make it, give me a nice clean look and give it the Willie Rebuild signature on it, baby. That's right. So enough talking. Let me go ahead and get this hole drilled out. Get that hole drilled out so I can run the other line, other harness under there to the transmission. And I'm about to get this stuff locked up. Also, the last couple of days, I've been playing with the drive shaft, trying to see if I could come up with a plan. This the factory drive shaft. I've been trying to come up with a plan. This is another drive shaft I had, and this one have like a 2-piece deal on the back of it. So I've been trying to figure out some things and see if I could figure something out. But if I can't, then y'all know what it is. We're gonna have to take it to the drive shaft shop. Or I'm gonna have to bring them the measurements and let them know what his, the setup is, and then he'll have to come on out his pocket with a few $100s. But other than that, that's what we got going on, gang. So let me get this hole drilled in here, and we gonna get that harness out here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Not too many people doing this swap, and the ones that is doing it, they ain't doing it themselves. So, like I say, it's certain things I'm gonna tell y'all about it and help you out, and it's certain things I'm not, and that's a part of the game. But I'm gonna cut y'all off and cut y'all back on once I get this hole drilled in here. All right, gang, we back. I done went ahead and drilled that hole and installed the harness in. Went ahead and cleaned some of the wires up. Started zip tying them together. One thing that you shouldn't do, or I wouldn't recommend that you do, is try to cut these harness down and clean them up. I done seen some big guys talk about how they cut the harness down and make it look clean or whatever they, But the problem with that is, if you have a problem and it's in the harness and you go cut that harness down to clean it up, no warranty, baby. So what I do in a situation like that is, let me get up in this engine bay. I take my wires and roll them up behind the engine where you can't see it once I put this intake on, and zip tie them together and clean it up like that. So without the intake on, it might look like a lot, but once I put the intake on here, that's gonna hide all of that there. So basically the engine is finished being wired in. Like I said, I gotta go to Summit and grab this high pressure fuel line right here. They recommend you only use that line one time. I mean, some people might try, but the problem with that is, once you put the intake on, if you have a fuel leak from it, you're not gonna see it. And that's a high pressure line. I think it had like, 1,000 PSI or something of pressure on it. But we're gonna replace that, get the intake bolted back on for good, and we're gonna keep moving forward. I gotta remove well, this one I haven't put on. I need to remove the other one from the driver's side, and I need to mark them where I want my O2 sensors to sit. And then I'll take this to the exhaust shop and let them put the O2 sensor bones in for me. They right here. They came in this kit, as you can see, drop down there in the box. But I'll go by my buddy at the exhaust shop, let him weld that in. Once I put them on and mark how I want my O2 sensors to sit, and then we'll be one step closer to firing it up. But before I fire it up, I need to take this whole car to the tuner, and I need to get the drive shaft on and get everything hooked up on the car, because this setup right here, it needs to be tuned for it to crank. It's a little bit more advanced than the Gen 3 stuff. So I'm just gonna bring the whole car over there to the tuner. But before I go, I'm gonna make sure I got everything hooked. Yeah, gang, like I was saying, I need to make sure I got everything hooked up, everything, all the cooling in, or at least much cooling as I can get in without it running. But I wanna have everything hooked up, so once I get it to the tuner and he get it crunk up, I can take it from the tuner straight to the exhaust shop. I need to call a customer and find out, you know, what kind of sound he looking for out of the exhaust and how he want the exhaust to be ran. Do he want it dumped under the car? Do he want it coming out the back like it was before? And then I can proceed with, you know, getting everything road worthy. So that's what I'm doing right now, gang. I'm gonna go get that line from Summit, and we gonna go and get this intake bolted up for good. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna make this run to Summit. I'm not gonna bring y'all in Summit. I don't really like recording in public places. I don't want to deal with people with the bullshit about they don't want to be on camera and all this. I'm not arguing with nobody about no bullshit. So I keep my recording to the shop. So I'm gonna run the Summit, grab what I need to grab, and I'll cut y'all back on in a minute, gang. All right, gang, we back. So I done went ahead and pulled off our high pressure fuel line. Got the new one in, genuine GM part. That's the part number right here, 126-77004. Anytime you taking a fuel line loose, they say you should replace that line. I mean, if you reuse it, not sure what's gonna happen. Every time I worked on one of these engines, I went ahead and replaced it. So I'm gonna replace this one. And another reason why I wouldn't really take a chance on it is because once you put all this stuff back together, you got this insulation that go over the top of the intake, and if it's leaking, you never would really know, because you wouldn't really be able to see the leak. And by the time you do find out it's leaking, it might be too late, because it probably run on the exhaust and light you on fire, gang. So you don't want to take chances. It's a $36 part. I wind up not going to Summit and get it. I went to AutoZone and ordered it, and it came in the next day. So actually, we was starting the video yesterday. It's the next morning. So the part was in, you know, early in the morning for me to start doing what I need to do. But once I go ahead and screw this on here, let me see if I can get it out of the pack with one hand. Because once I put this part on here, that's a wrap. The intake going on for good. I went ahead and ran the wires for the fans yesterday. As you can see right down there, I went ahead and installed the new compressor that the customer purchased. The compressor I had in there yesterday was just a compressor I had laying around to make sure that we was gonna have clearance in between the inner fender and the compressor, and we do. So let me go ahead and get this out of the pack and get it installed, and then I'll cut y'all back on, gang. All right, gang, we back. We done went ahead and put the intake back on for good. I gotta run these wires into the inside of the car. One of them is my key on power for my fan. The red wire and the blue wire is my signal for the fans, fan 1 and fan 2, because I'm running dual fans on here. So also I went ahead and installed the power steering pump pulley, and I'm gonna wind up having to change the belt, because once I changed the compressor to the R4 style compressor for the clearance, then I ran into the issue where my belt too short. I mean, my belt too long now. But that's not a big deal. Also, I went ahead and installed the gas pedal. My flashlight that went dead. I'm not sure on how good y'all gonna be able to see down here, but as you can see right there, the gas pedal is installed. Had to make a bracket for it, cut a few pieces of metal. I used part of the original bracket and did a little cutting and modifying and welding and made the bracket, and as you can see, it's sitting in there pretty straight. It's sitting in there pretty straight with the it's sitting in there pretty straight, as you can see, with a little light from my lighter. It's sitting in there pretty straight with the gas pedal. So that's knocked out. Still gotta get my computer for the transmission, because when the customer dropped off the engine, he didn't bring me the computer for the transmission. He didn't have either computer. He had the, when I picked the engine up, I just got the engine with the harness. Then I went back and got the computer, the ECM from him, but he can't find a TCM for the transmission. So gotta get that and find out where I'm gonna mount that under the dash. I'm mounting all the wires under the dash, as you can see, and it's pretty clean install under there. As you can see, it look nice and factory, baby. You don't see no wires, because like I told y'all, I got the computer mounted up there, up against the bottom of the dash, way up high. Also, I ran my hot wire for the fuel pump is under there. That was a little task to run that wire, but I got it through the car, through the trunk, took it just like I do on every car, through the tail light harness, and as you can see, that's it hanging under the car, the red wire. And now I'm just waiting on the fuel tank to come so I can put my aeromotive fuel pump in there and set up my fuel lines. But under the hood, basically everything is almost done. I'm just waiting on my condenser for under the hood so I can see how I'm gonna fabricate the AC lines. And other than that, gang, she close to being ready to fire up. Still gotta get my distribution block. I'm gonna mount somewhere up in here so I can clean up some of the wires. This here is just loom, but these here I'm gonna run to the distribution block, and these 2 wires for his stereo, I'm gonna run that to it too. Other than that, gang, everything coming pretty smooth on the dump. She getting almost to the point to where she ready to fire up. Like I say, I'm gonna have to bring the whole car over there to the tuner so he can put the tune in, because he don't have a standalone harness for the Gen 5 stuff at his shop, like how I bring the Gen 3 stuff over there, just the computer. I can't do that with this. I'm gonna have to bring the whole car, but that's no big deal. I load it up on the trailer and we'll get it over there. Another thing, my little deal with the brakes, man, I don't think it's gonna work. I tried and tried, but one wheel, the driver wheel, was still touching the caliper. I think I'm gonna give up on that shit. The kit worked. I'm not a big fan of it, but if he want to keep it, he gonna have to definitely change the wheels to a 16-inch wheel. Not sure if he gonna want to do that. The only other alternative would be to try this other kit that I seen at Summit. It didn't really have good reviews, and that's what made me go with this kit. I just wasn't paying attention to where it said that you have to run a 16-inch wheel. But other than that, I mean, the suspension just about wrapped up. I just gotta weld my tab on the back of the rim for my brake line, and then put my new rubber lines up here in the front, which I have those lines right there. So that's not a big deal. Yeah, gang, other than that, we just need to get the mounts and stuff we're gonna use on it. Like I say, engine should be in any day. Still waiting on my engine builder to come and call me and let me know that the engine ready. The Monte Carlo, I want to change the throttle body on it. I don't like that throttle body. It's kind of hard for me to adjust it and get it how I want it. I'm not sure what's really going on with that situation, but the throttle body should be in soon, and I'll go drive it. I really don't want, I can drive it now, but it's kind of like I got to fight with it with the idle and stuff like that, and I don't really like that. So I'd rather just wait till I got everything the way how I want it, and then I'll go drive it one day, put the miles on it, and get it on the dyno within the next couple of days. But other than that, I mean, the Monte Carlo is done. Under the hood of the box Chevy, got a few spots I need to touch up, but other than that, it's basically done for as the frame, cleaning the frame, the suspension. Have to go back and double check all the bolts, because I know I left some of them loose, but I mean, it's basically done. I tighten everything back up before I put it on the ground. But that's where we at, gang. That's where we at, over here in the shop, trying to get it done. And in the heat, gang. But LT swap coming along good. Once I get this, get everything wrapped up, I'm gonna give y'all a price breakdown on this engine. Shout out to Chevy Grinder, man. He told me, say, man, you should make you should give him a price breakdown on how much it costs to do a LT swap. So I said, you know what? You know, I was kind of thinking that, but that's what I do. And like with any swap, I mean, certain cars you deal with, the prices may vary on the parts, but I don't think the swap itself is gonna vary too much from car to car. If you running it the way I'm running it with the 8-speed transmission, I don't think the price of the swap gonna change too much on what you putting it in, but it's kind of pricey, gang. It's kind of pricey, so I'm gonna make sure I get that information over there to y'all. I'm gonna try to round these parts up so we can go ahead and get this thing knocked out. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. gotta get with the customer on these brakes and figure out what we gonna do with that. Me myself, I was kind of cause he is gonna go with an upgraded brake at some point in time. So my idea was to try to get a wheel that's not too expensive, a factory wheel, and I was kind of leaning on like a rally wheel. Y'all tell me what y'all think the old box Chevy will look like if he put a set of rally wheels on there. Y'all get in the comments and let me know what y'all think about that. But like, share, comment, and subscribe, gang. It's Willie Rebuild over and out. Time for me to get out of this heat box.